everyone. So I am going to be making butternut squash mac and cheese with kale. I'm going to make them kale chips, so I'm going to make those separately, but the recipe does call for them all mixed in together. So I've changed up a couple things, adapted them, and it's going to be a gluten-free, wheat-free, dairy-free, corn-free, refined sugar-free recipe. So hopefully that can cater to most people's food restrictions. We tried it maybe 2 weeks ago, and it was amazing. It is from this cookbook, my favorite one, Oh She Glows, and you can find the recipe on her blog that I'll link below, and it is absolutely out of this world. So the first thing that I did is I cut up my butternut squash, so I have them all in cubes, so just cubed like that, not too big, and I'm going to put them in a larger pan. I started out with this one, which is like a 8 by 8, and it just was not big enough. That was a big butternut squash. So I've upgraded pans, so I've got them all cubed in there. And what I'm going to do, don't mind me, is I'm going to add in some olive oil and salt and pepper. So I'm just using extra virgin olive oil, and I just drizzled it on there, not too much. And here, let me see if I can show you. There we go. So I just drizzled the olive oil there, and then I'm doing salt and pepper, so I'm using the pink Himalayan sea salt, and I'm putting a pretty generous amount on there, and then pepper as well. And then I'm, obviously with clean hands, I'm just going to mix it all together and make sure that they all have a little bit of everything on there. I have my oven preheated to 400 degrees, and I'm going to throw them in there for 40 minutes. So they look like they're all pretty well done there, so I'm just going to throw those in the oven, and then I'm going to show you how to do it. Alright, so I hope my angle is okay. I've turned this burner onto medium heat, and I'm going to make my cheese sauce now. So I've got, it calls for 3/4 cup of almond milk, unsweetened, unflavored. I did closer to 1 cup, as you could probably see there. And then I've got, and this is going to be probably really sloppy looking, but I put my Dijon and my, my two,
Hey, I'm in picture.
Okay, hold on. My two teaspoons of Dijon and my lemon juice. So I think it's a tablespoon of lemon juice, and I'm obviously going to have all these. Okay, but Jax, first of all, this is a hot stove, and the only thing that's in the picture is the stove. Mommy's not even in the picture. You will be at the very end, though, okay? When you get to test out our mac and cheese. Yum. So I'm just going to stir that all in there, and then I'm going to add in the 6 tablespoons of nutritional yeast. So I'm going to mix all of this up really well. It also calls for cornstarch or arrowroot powder, neither of which I have, so I'm just going to omit them. And that's just kind of how I roll. Then it calls for garlic powder. So I've got, we love garlic, like love garlic. So I've put a whole pile in there, and I'm just eyeballing it really. And it also calls for onion powder that we don't have, so we're not going to use it. So I'm just going to stir that up and heat it up on low heat for a little while. So this is definitely needing some thickening, so I'm going to add in 1 tablespoon. Don't mind my ugly measuring spoon. All the other ones are completely dirty. So there's 1 tablespoon of our gluten-free flour, and it's the Namaste brand, and I find that's one of the only ones that doesn't actually have any corn in it. So we like that one. So I'm going to add in, so that has helped a whole lot, and I'm just going to add in 1 more tablespoon of that, and that should be totally fine. So if you do have the arrowroot or the cornstarch, I'm sure that would help quite a bit. So I'm just going to keep stirring and keep letting it simmer while my butternut squash is cooking. I'm very happy with the turnout, and it's definitely in season. So what I'm going to do is I have my finished cheese sauce here. So this is what it looks like. I just let it simmer, and then I'm going to let it stand a little bit, and it'll thicken up quite nicely. So I've added in a little bit of that into my blender. It doesn't look like a lot, but it's a decent amount. And I'm going to use my Ninja for this because I like how it still leaves it a little bit chunky. And then I'm going to put in probably a full cup. So I'm just measuring out the butternut squash. Try not to like burn things. This is the most awkward camera setup. So I'm putting in a full cup of the roasted butternut squash into here with a little bit of that sauce, and I'm just going to blend it up. I like having the fresh butternut squash and the sauce to add in, and then a little bit of the sauce that's already blended. I don't know why, I just like it. So we like to switch it up a little bit, and I am going to add a little bit more cheese sauce into this mix. We don't need a whole bunch of it that's fresh. So I'm going to blend this up, obviously with this one allows the top lid to be open because it is steaming. It needs to let all the steam out. So I'm just going to blend that for a few minutes until it's fairly combined, and then put this butternut squash on the table. Hi everyone, so this is our finished product. So we have the butternut squash and cheese sauce mixture with some fresh butternut squash on top, and then our kale chips. So I'll link the recipe to the kale chips below. They're all dressed kale chips, and they are so delicious. So our meal is fairly healthy. I used a rice pasta. My favorite brand is Takeda, I believe. Mommy. And we love the way they cook and the way that they turn out. Yes, Jax?
I like orange. I put orange in there.
Oh, gross. He put electrolytes in his milk. Yum. So we're having like one of those tough toddler nights, but this is so easy and low maintenance. I just threw in some more kale chips because I know I'm going to want some to munch on later, and they are just really, really yummy. So I'm going to stop talking, and yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this recipe. It's definitely our favorite pasta recipe.